you don't advise people to go into flipping because really, if you're not ready to buckle down and learn the construction industry and learn everything there is about a house, you're going to have a lot of problems.
And I had to rip up the basement. And then I had to do everything all over it.
Okay, so today we're telling people to do something that I thought we'd never tell them to do. We're saying don't flip houses.
What? That's ridiculous.
I know, but we're here with Mina Greiss, who is in construction, who does flips, who does all sorts of things, and I'm going to have you tell why. And you're telling us that you don't think people should flip anymore.
That's ridiculous. I love flipping houses. Everybody should be flipping houses. Why shouldn't they? Tell us.
I think if you flip houses, you're diving into a new industry.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in this new industry, it's the construction industry. And what do you know about construction?
Lots.
Me, nothing. However, tell us a little bit about yourself so we know why someone should listen to you.
My name is Mina Greiss. I started about 12 years ago, and I got my MBA in real estate finance and development from Fordham. I love real estate. I knew I wanted to get into real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know what exactly to do. I started off by purchasing my first home with a no income verification loan.
Nice.
It was conveniently located around the college, so I had student housing, which is a different
Different
type
animal,
of
sure.
real estate. And I decided to finish the basement. And when I did, my best friends also helped me.
Mm-hmm.
We did everything: tile, floors, sheetrock, insulation, and it was all great. And I had students living in the basement. And then the township came knocking on my door.
Nice. And they
stopped it.
That you can't have people living in the
They
basement.
said, nope, you can't have anybody living in the basement. And I was maybe 22, 23. I was scared. They said, you got to get everybody out of the house.
Wow. That day.
I was very creative. Yep.
Did you move everyone upstairs?
Luckily, all the guys were my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to, we moved everybody upstairs. The town was okay with that. And I had to rip up the basement. And then I had to do everything all over. And,
Why'd you have to rip
then
up
I
the
was
basement?
introduced to contractors.
No permits.
Oh.
Damn.
No permits.
I was introduced to contractors. I had this electrician who there's no like home advisor, whatever. I mean, when you meet the...
Right, this is back in the day.
Yeah, I mean,
It's only 12 years ago.
The construction industry is just a whole other animal. But I think, I've gone through all the learning curves, and I'm still going through more learning curves. I feel like in real estate and construction, you're still learning every day.
Now, you having to do that project, is that what got you started in construction? Is that what bit you with the construction bug?
Yes. I needed to support my real estate portfolio, which was just the one property that I had. I needed to secure it, and I needed to produce some income out of it. And construction was the key.
Okay.
So by finishing that basement was going to give you the income you needed out of that house, because
Correct.
whatever was there originally wasn't enough to generate enough money.
Correct.
Okay.
And because it was a single family home, I knew nothing about architects or any of that. The town said, oh, you could just draw it out yourself, and then you can, go get an electrical permit somewhere, and you can do this and you can do that. And I couldn't watch YouTube. There was nothing on YouTube for construction. But I had to figure it all out myself. I had to be close to other people that have gone through this.
So you had to get your friends to teach you. Okay.
I had to have good mentors like Eric Anderson here.
So you're basically, the reason you're telling people today to not flip houses is because of the story and the trials and tribulations that you went through. And you know that you're an above average person for tolerating chaos. So the chaos that was created by not knowing the construction was so overwhelming that you're saying the average person probably should stay away from it.
Correct.
Okay. That's our answer.
Well, what should they go into? So if you're saying, before you tell us what they should go into, tell us about your businesses that you have now. Because you're a very knowledgeable man. Mina, you are. So tell us.
So I own a building company. My company is Grace Holdings. And I do a lot of high-end builds, historical restorations. We're working on a few projects, probably 15 builds.
Okay.
I do some commercial, not all commercial, mainly residential. I also own a residential elevator company. Elevator Contractors is the name. And I own a co-living company.
Okay.
Which is Coluxy. And everybody asks me, what's co-living? What is that? What do you mean?
Well, we've talked about this, yes.
When people share a bed in a house.
It's not that. A lot of people think that. There's this stigma.
Something going on.
Yeah, there's this whole thing about, you rent rooms. No, we don't rent rooms. I'm the Nordstrom of co-living. My company, we have high-end luxury homes, and we provide housing for communities.
But still, a bunch of people live in one home, correct?
That's a whole nother story.
Yep, it's a whole other thing. And
so, like one big family renting a house. There you go.
Yeah, the opportunity came because of I had to pivot, and there was a story to it because I started with student housing.
Okay.
And when I bought my first property, I was about 22 or 23, and it was around the college and the university because I knew nothing else.
Sure.
And during the summer, I had no job, so I worked at a dealership, and I was always a salesman. So I never, I had this, thing inside of me that always wanted to sell product or I wanted to just make money. I didn't, when you're 22, 23, that's all you want to do.
You don't know what to sell. You're like, let me sell anything.
Let me sell anything. Yes. Let me make money. Let me just, take over the world. And, you know? And I was working at the dealership, and it was cash for clunkers at the time that Obama had this trade in your gas guzzling car for $5,000 in credit.
So you worked at a car dealership?
I worked at a car dealership during the summer, and I made a lot of money. I made enough money to realize that when our landlord was selling the house that some of my friends were at, it was a student housing situation. He put it up for sale for $250, and I asked everyone else, hey, do you guys want to just chip in and maybe we could buy it?
Were you living in this house?
No, I wasn't living in this house. It was just a few of my friends.
So your friends were living in a house. You used to hang out there.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, the sign went up for sale.
Yep.
And you just decided, hey, why don't we buy it?
Yes.
Amazing.
People thought I was crazy.
Okay.
And then I bought it. And I went to this lender, and I got this no income verification loan. I knew about this lender through the realtor.
Okay.
I called that sign, that number, and then I said, I want to buy it. And the realtor said, what are you, crazy? And I said, this is what I have. She said, you know what? Let's get the pre-approval in. She thought, who's this kid? He's just...
He's a nobody.
He's just a nobody, and he's going to...
He'll never get the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was creative, and I probably got screwed on the rate and everything, but...
But you got it.
But I got it.
You still have this house.
Long term, I have this house. I own it, and it's on 2 acres, and it's actually across the street from a new development that the college, the university, built.
Awesome. Love it.
That's what gave you the idea for the co-living.
Yeah. So no, that was my first student house.
Were you buying that to flip it?
No.
Okay.
I was buying it because I, as a student, knew the market, and I was looking at the numbers and while we're renting, we're paying $600-700 a student, and I realized it's just a number. If you have 10 students there, you're making $7,000 a month. It didn't make any sense to me.
And the house really would rent for 2.
Yeah, and the house was like a piece of
garbage.
Crap. Yeah, it was bad. So some fraternities were buying into it, and I'm like, what's going on? This is weird. And I said, okay, let me do this. And then I started. That's when I realized, oh my God, I could put a room everywhere. I could put a room in the basement. I could put a room everywhere. Let me just make money.
Was there a reason that the guy was selling the house?
No, he was just selling.
He was just selling.
He was just selling. Maybe I'm not sure why, but yeah.
So
at the time, it wasn't. I'm sorry to cut you off. It wasn't across the street from the college. There was another block, a strip, that I knew because I was on the student body committee, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they said there's this new development coming soon that this developer is going to build, and everybody was excited about it.
So you had insider information.
I did, and I
There you
realized
Key to real estate right there.
that's it, the location. And I
Okay.
saw that property, and I kept thinking, if this thing is built, this property is going to be right across the street, not just a block away. It's going to be right across the street. And right now, it's
So you
the
bought
entrance
that,
is right there.
and then how did you go from that? Like, how did you get into flipping? Because I still want to understand what's bad about flipping.
exactly.
So far, I hear
Well-
all good things.
I've had a whole journey, and it was always a learning curve, and I never wanted to get into construction. And I realized everything I had to fix about with my rentals, I had to understand construction.
Right.
I had to know what a water heater was. You can't just buy a house without not understanding what a furnace is or a water heater or how the climate is or the electrical or a panel. I mean, some of these students don't even know what a panel is or if a breaker trips, like how to reset the
Yeah.
breaker.
I do know how to reset a breaker. I do.
Your husband taught you that?
No, you may have been the first person to teach me that.
okay.
Yeah, at the school.
Everybody needs to know how to
So
reset a
important.
breaker.
You need to know how to reset a breaker.
Just go like the
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
You need to know how to shut off the water.
Yeah.
Right.
The main. People are like, oh my God, we're going to make money. This is how you make money in real estate, is by understanding everything about this real property,
Construction.
right? And it's construction. Construction is a whole other industry.
So what you're saying is you don't advise people to go into flipping because really, if you're not ready to buckle down and learn the construction industry and learn everything there is about a house, you're going to have a lot of problems.
Yep.
Okay, so then what should they go into? If you want to be in the real estate game.
My mistake was I trusted contractors. Instead of trusting my ability or my knowledge. Hi. It paused.
It paused.
Guys, this is Giorgio. Giorgio, say hi. Giorgio, say hi. Say hi.
Hi, Giorgio.
Hi, Giorgio.
Look, the camera's over there.
Is Giorgio a product of one of your flips?
Giorgio is a product of one of my flips. He's my son, and I have 3 kids now.
And are you saying that the reason people shouldn't flip is they should be spending more time with their family?
That's a great reason.
There you go.
All right, I'm back.
So you were saying that this is how you make money in real estate.
It's really called Flip This Child.
Right?
Yes. Making money in real estate doesn't mean you're just going to buy a house and you're going to start making money. You need to know a lot of things. You need to have knowledge. You need to be educated. And this is why we're here, because we're going to educate you.
Thanks for watching this episode. Now don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And we'll see you next time.